Hey guys, I just wanted to give you a heads up that there is some audio issues in this recording. For some reason my mic's popping, and you can hear the fan from my computer for some reason. This does get better as the recording goes on, and both of these issues will be fixed for the next podcast. This is probably the best podcast that we've put out so far, and we're really happy about it. Thank you for watching. Hey guys, welcome to the Kevin and King podcast. Today we're going to talk about the remake of one of the most iconic Disney movies of all time. A movie that taught us that we can all follow in our father's footsteps and that we should have no worries. The Lion King. King, how did you feel about the movie?
We're about to get in a fight about this, aren't we?
Probably.
I liked it.
What do you mean you liked it?
So you're saying you didn't?
Okay, so no, I didn't like the movie at all. I really felt like it missed the mark on something that could have been greater than it was. I think it missed the mark on the nostalgia feel. I just think they missed a huge chance to capitalize on a remake. I didn't like it that much. There was some good scenes, but for the most part, as a musical and as a movie, it fell flat for me.
I think you're looking through rose-tinted glasses.
What do you mean?
I mean, the original movie, not that great.
I mean, as a kid, and as like when I watched it younger, I thought it was great.
Yeah, sure. As a kid, it was great. As an adult, it was fucking boring, man.
Um,
And also, the story kind of sucks. Simba's a shithead.
yeah, he definitely is. So, okay, so
Like,
how
from
come?
start to finish, he doesn't redeem himself.
Yeah. So why did you like the movie then? If you thought that it wasn't good, like what made this one different?
I found it more compelling.
How did you find it? I don't see. I don't understand that. I didn't find it compelling, or I didn't. I honestly didn't have fun until Timon and Pumbaa came into it.
Well, the first half did kind of drag because it was, like, in many places, a shot-for-shot remake of the original. Uh, which I feel kind of worked against them for people like me who like have the nostalgia but not like the real powerful nostalgia. Because like I watched that, I was just like, oh, it's the exact same. Oh fuck, is the entire movie gonna be like this? And thankfully it wasn't. They changed some shit, they added some stuff. uh
Did they
they
though?
Yeah, about 30 minutes worth.
Yeah. I don't feel that. I didn't. I don't feel like they added really anything. Honestly. I mean,
I also like that the animals were more anatomically correct, except for in a couple of places. Visually, it was also incredible.
well, yeah. That's one of my only like positive anything I have about that movie. It felt like I was watching a real episode of of National Geographic. Like it felt that it was real. That these were animals out in out there, and that felt good to me.
Yeah.
I liked that, but so okay, I'm gonna get into my big main point, like just right off the bat, because I feel like this needs to be addressed and kind of for me and just in general. And I think this is why maybe a lot of people and a lot of other reviews gave it bad review or gave it or they didn't think it was a memorable performance or anything. And that's no, we're not talking about the voice acting. We're not talking about the lack of effect on the faces and emotion that a lot of the animals didn't have until you got to Timon and Pumbaa. What I feel like that it honestly lacked performance that was memorable. I mean, it played all the songs. You had Hakuna Matata. You had um, the Simba song, when he's going to be a king. I don't remember the name. You
I
had,
can't wait till my dad's dead.
yeah, basically. Uh, you had Scar song and everything, and they all sung okay, and they like in the Love Tonight or whatever when Donald Glover and them sing, like it was okay, but none of it was super memorable. I've seen all the Disney remakes. I went to watch Aladdin. I watched all these other musicals. What Aladdin did and what Beauty and the Beast did is they had me, as soon as I left that theater, they had those songs stuck in my head. They had this way of me wanting to keep reliving those moments and thinking about that song, and it would be stuck in my head for days. I sung the song Prince Ali for literally 4 or 5 days after I saw Aladdin, because Will Smith's
So for almost an
performance.
entire week, you were just unbearable.
Yeah, yeah, it was amazing though. Like it felt so good. Like that was memorable. Those songs were cool. I wanted to listen to them. Like I'll go listen to that now. But when I left the theater in Lion King, I literally was like, I didn't care. I didn't even like want to look up stuff about the movie. I didn't care about the people that played the characters. I didn't care about any of it. There was no meaningful performance at all in it to make me want to care about this movie. And that's kind of what that that's kind of what I feel left they left on a plate, because they had Beyonce, they had Childish Gambino, Donald Glover. They had all these amazing singers, and they didn't capitalize on it. None of them innovated in their songs. I mean, Beyonce like did some of her like vocal notes and stuff in her when she sang, but other than that, there was no innovation. There was no nothing. I mean, they had these amazing and didn't do anything with it, and that kind of hurts me. It's like you missed an amazing opportunity to do something special for a movie that's so special for so many adults as well as kids. I mean, kids are still watching it now, and the original one out in what 1994. I mean, kids still love that
25
movie.
years ago.
Yeah, they missed the mark, and they missed a way to make it super memorable, because nobody left and was like, okay, I'm gonna listen to any of the songs, because they were just the regular songs.
I
It
did.
felt regular. I don't know. To me, it didn't feel. The performances didn't feel memorable, and that's kind of
This
that's like my big thing. I don't know. I didn't think. I mean, if you would have seen, I don't know if you went and saw Aladdin or anything. If you would have listened
I
to like
didn't.
the Prince Ali song and Will Smith
I
rap
did
and
listen to that.
do all of his stuff, it was amazing. Like it was so good. They let him innovate on those characters. Donald Glover
I don't know, man. I
didn't.
I thought Prince Ali fucking sucked.
I thought it was great. It was an amazing song. I like. I don't know. And I'm pretty sure a lot of
Song I left
people.
thinking about the most. Song I left thinking about the most was a Scar song "Be Prepared." I thought the way they changed that was fantastic.
I thought it was. I forgot what his name is, but he did.
Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Yeah, he sung very well. Like the song was really good. But I did want there to be the I think in the original Lion
The
King.
Nazi goose stepping.
Yeah, I wanted that to happen. I know like these are supposed to be real animals and stuff, so that's not going to happen. But that's what I wish.
Well, originally they were gonna take it out just for the Nazi stuff, but people were bitching about it so much that they put it back in. They just edited it, and I wish it was a little bit longer, but most of the lyrics to that song is just how stupid the hyenas are, and because of the way they changed the relationship between Scar and the hyenas, that just wouldn't work.
Yeah,
So
I feel like I didn't. Okay. I think they should have gave him another song or like something else because he sung very well. It was fun to watch. It was a good moment. Scar, he played a good character. Um, but song wise, I feel like they should have done a lot more. Like you had Beyonce, she didn't even sing in like another song
Yeah, she did.
beside she okay. She sung her
She
Spirit
wrote a song
song.
for this movie.
She wrote Spirit, which Nala didn't actually sing though. It was kind of like a background music, and I don't know. I the song was okay, but I wasn't like a super fan of it. But I mean, you in Aladdin at the end, they added in a totally new song to give that girl, to give the princess like her moment to sing, to have this huge moment, and they should have done that with Nala, or should have done it with Childish Gambino. Like, let him rap, let him do his lyrical magic. I mean, the man is on fire with music and with directing and acting and doing all this stuff lately. Why didn't you let him innovate? I don't know. That's
Yeah,
what makes me that's my biggest thing to where they missed a huge opportunity to be able to really remake this movie in a way to where it wasn't like the old movie. It could have been better. How do you feel about what I just said? Does it make you rethink anything that you've been thinking at all?
no, I think you're wrong.
That's mean.
Uh,
My feelings are hurt right there.
you're damned if you do and damned if you don't. Like if you make it too close to the original, everyone bitches that it's not innovative enough. If you make it too different, everyone bitches that it's not the way they remembered it. I can't wait to see how people bitch about Mulan because they took out Mushu, uh,
Well,
the dragon,
they
which
took out
good.
Mushu, and they might have taken out like music in general. Which the reason
Yeah,
I love, like, I understand that the Chinese culture doesn't like it and everything, but at the same time, it is an American movie. But I know they're not making it American. They're trying to have like mostly Chinese actors and all that stuff. But I don't know.
those fucking janitors.
I think when you make a remake, you should try to keep it, somewhat close to the original. But if you're gonna make a remake, at least innovate a little. At least try something. Try something more than not really trying at all.
Yeah, but you just said that like you're not happy about Mulan for taking all that stuff out.
Well, that's the music. I'm not sure. Like Mushu, I can kind of get over. I mean, I liked his character, but I can kind of get over that. But it was originally a musical. Like if they took all the music out of Lion King, I would have been like, why? It didn't make sense to me. But I mean, it was originally a musical. You're basically taking you're making a whole new movie in Mulan. Mulan's just going to be an action movie now. It's not going to be like a musical action film or anime or film.
Hey
So
Kev, can I tell you something?
what?
Mulan's a lot older than that cartoon.
No, I know. I like the cartoon, but they're remaking the cartoon. That's where everybody knows it from. Nobody knows anything that's older than that and all that.
A lot of people do.
But that's not. But I'm just saying that's not why they're remaking it. They're remaking it because they know they make money from the Disney movie. You got anything else to say about what I said, or any of that?
Um, yeah, well, I can't wait till you're dead, so I'm king. Is a shit song, anyways. It was hurt by being more anatomically correct to the animals. There wasn't the showboatiness of swinging off vines uh and hippo tails and getting Zazu stampeded and everything. It did lack that, but I also didn't like that song to begin with, so I was kind of just happy it got over with fairly quickly. Um, Scar's song I liked. I thought Billy Eichner and Seth Rogen did great for Hakuna Matata and the opening and closing of Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Because like Billy Eichner, it has a lot of musical talent, so that's not surprising. But Seth Rogen, like with that voice, didn't expect him to be able to like. I thought he was going to be a standout flop, but I thought he did fine.
Yeah, he did fun because
Um,
they like put him together with Billy and let Billy be the standout. Like I don't think the movie would have been at all enjoyable without him. I think literally Timon saved the movie. Like he was the best part, honestly, to me. His voice acting was the best. He innovated Timon. He made it his own character rather than just be like, okay, I'm just gonna read these lines and not do anything and not change anything really. Him and Seth, I thought, did amazing. They were the
they
best part
they
of the
both
whole
did
movie
very
by
good,
far.
and yeah, but they were also the best part in the original too.
Yeah, well, yes and no. Like I really liked Mufasa, which I liked Mufasa in this, but at the same time, it felt like it felt as if they didn't even have him record any other lines. It's like they took it straight from the old movie and just kind of put it in.
Well, Mufasa doesn't really get a lot of screen time before he's killed
No.
off. I mean, he doesn't get a lot of dialogue before he's killed off. Uh, However, I think Chiwetel Ejiofor was probably the biggest standout to me. I mean, I thought Timon and Pumbaa were great, but uh, whereas, like, don't get me wrong, I love Jeremy Irons in the original, and when I was watching the trailers, I kind of felt like I wasn't gonna like the new Scar. But while watching the movie, he actually innovated that character because Jeremy Irons plays the character like a classic '90s British villain. Like,
Yeah. I
there's not
think
much to it, but with Scar, you can really feel how menacing and like what a powder keg he is. Like he's been burned up, like burning up inside about being deposed of his line of succession, and he's pissed about it.
yeah, I he did very well. I liked his character. He made me actually hate Scar, and I think that's him and Timon were the only two to kind of do that at all to make you care or not care about those characters in any way in this movie. I mean, if we want
Yeah.
to, I mean, I'll get into kind of the voice acting and the acting in general of the characters. Let's talk about young Simba and young Nala. I think that young Nala, the girl who played in Us, um, what is her?
Shahadi Wright Joseph.
Yes, I think she did an amazing job. She did very well. If you compare her
Hmm.
to J.D. McCary, as I think his name, I don't think he did well whatsoever. It was kind of like he was trying, but not really. I didn't like his voice acting whatsoever. I thought it was lackluster, to be honest.
Honestly, it felt very similar to Jonathan Taylor Thomas's voice from the cartoon. Like, it's fine, but uh, I like there wasn't anything impressive about it.
Yeah, that, I mean, he didn't. It's just it's like he was reading a script or just reading the script and not trying to act the character or anything. It was like, okay, I have this. I have to read these lines. That's what I'm going to do. Um,
Well, I think he was chosen more for his singing ability than his acting ability.
Yeah, but I mean, Simba
Because I think
sings.
he's a performer.
Yeah, but Simba sings one song. Like he, I don't know. But the thing is, I think they could have reshot some of his scenes to make them much better and much. It just felt like he. It didn't. It felt like Simba didn't care about anything in this movie, and that kind of made me. I mean, made me not like Simba at all, which most people don't like young Simba anyway because he's a little brat who is like, oh, I'm the rich kid who can do anything I really want. And that's
Yeah,
kind
he's a
of,
shithead.
yeah. But he could have at least made me, like, actually hate him rather than be like, oh, it's just some kid being stupid.
Honestly, it felt very similar to Jonathan Taylor Thomas's voice from the cartoon. Like, it's fine, but I like there wasn't anything impressive about it.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't. It's just. It's like he was reading a script or just reading the script and not trying to act the character or anything. It was like, okay, I have this. I have to read these lines. That's what I'm going to do. Um,
Well, I think he was chosen more for his singing ability than his acting ability.
yeah, but I mean, Simba
Because I think
sings.
he's a performer.
Yeah, Simba sings one song. Like he, I don't know. But the thing is, I think they could have reshot some of his scenes to make them much better and much. It just felt like he. It didn't. It felt like Simba didn't care about anything in this movie, and that kind of made me. I mean, made me not like Simba at all, which most people don't like young Simba anyway because he's a little brat who is like, oh, I'm the rich kid who can do anything I really want, and that's
Yeah,
kind
he's a
of,
shithead.
yeah. But he could have at least made me like actually hate him rather than be like, oh, it's just some kid being stupid.
I
Um,
don't know, some kid being stupid sounds a lot more practical.
I guess. I know. I just didn't. I didn't like his performance. I really liked um, young Nala's performance. I
Jihadi.
think, yeah, Shahadi.
Yeah.
I think she did much better than he did. In all
Yeah.
honesty, she did wonderful. Like I was like, I I didn't want Simba to keep talking. I wanted her to keep talking. I was like, take this movie in another direction and let her be the main character because she did so well. Um,
Which they did in the sequels to the cartoon, which is
yeah.
good because adult Simba is also a shithead.
Let's get into some of we get into the older ones, older Simba, and then older Nala. It kind of
Okay, so
switches.
Beyonce
Beyonce and
and
Donald Glover. It kind of
yeah,
switches. Beyonce is a terrible voice actor. Yeah, like I don't. To me, I had no idea
she's a
what
pretty
she.
terrible actor.
Yeah, she was awful. It was like I I don't know why they chose her even to sing. Like her song was okay, but it wasn't anything. Her music, even her album, is not anything to be like excited about. She added. I didn't like it, and her voice acting. My gosh, her voice acting was so bad that I don't know how they allowed that to happen. She literally, it was like she was reading a book. That's all it was. It was she looked at the words, read them, didn't act, didn't have any affect to her voice, didn't do anything at all. She just read the words and got paid. That's all she did. When she, the scene at the end when she says lions attack, there is no, there is no force in her voice. There is no, um, this is urgent. There's no anything. It's just like lions attack, and I was just like, I literally looked around and was like, what the fuck just happened? I was like, why did she even say that? It made no sense to say that.
Kevin, how can you disrespect Queen Bey like that?
Dude, she is terrible, and
I
I
don't
didn't,
give a fuck about
I didn't,
Beyonce.
I don't either. But I didn't care about her rendition of the in the Air Tonight or Love Tonight thing. I didn't care for it
Wow.
really.
Can you feel the love tonight?
Can you
Is that
feel
what
the
you
love
meant?
tonight? Yes. Gosh, sorry. I didn't care for that
Is
rendition
that
or
what you meant
anything.
with your terrible words?
Yes, yes, that's what I meant
No,
with my
I
terrible
it
words.
yeah, that one was kind of disappointing. I mean, Beyonce and uh Donald Glover, you'd expect more than that, but it just wasn't there.
I mean, yeah, Donald Glover at least acted his part as Simba. He had some very cringy like lines to say, which were like, why didn't you kind of jazz those up a little bit? Why didn't you change those lines at all? Well, like
Yeah.
their dialogue session together when Nala and Simba meet again is just like it, it, I don't even know how to explain it. It makes no sense to what they were saying. Like it makes sense to what they were saying, but it makes no sense of how they were acting. It was in any of it. It didn't make me feel like they were even friends. It was like, yo, hey, we're acquaintances and we're supposed to be in love. Let's act, but not actually show any emotion towards each other in our words.
I don't think I'd go that far.
I guess that's a little extreme, but that's how I like started to feel. I think Donald Glover did much better than Beyonce. Beyonce was terrible, like absolutely awful. But you know, Donald Glover is a really good actor. He spoke. I mean, he did words. It felt like he was actually acting during it, so that was
He
good.
spoke and did words.
Yeah,
Well, thank God, because that's really the requirements to be a voice actor.
I
Man,
mean,
imagine if you tried to mime that shit.
I mean,
No,
that's
I
all I
get what
was
you're
getting
saying.
from the that's all I was getting from the voice acting of those two. Um, and then we go into Mufasa did good. You know,
I,
I mean,
I,
it was the same word. It was the same lines as the other movie. So it's just like, okay, you know, you got a nice voice, James. So it's nice to listen to you, but that's what I got from it. That's
I don't know, man. Like, I know they wanted to get him again to kind of like bring the two movies like have a crossover, and also like now that he's older, he feels like he's been ruling for a long time and he's nearing his end, but some of those lines like just didn't have the delivery they needed, especially the like falling scream when he's tossed back into the stampede.
oh yeah, yeah.
Like that line made me just go, "Oh,
Dude, the whole dialogue, the screenwriting in this was terrible. I don't know why they didn't change the words. It's a remake. You can make the dialogue better. It's not.
yeah,
It
they
was.
really should have
You
they really
can.
should have changed some of the dialogue."
I don't know why they didn't start rewriting that stuff. It makes. It made no sense to me, honestly. Um,
Yeah.
but okay, let's see. John Oliver as Zazu. I thought he did good.
Zazu.
Yeah, I thought Zazu was
Yeah,
perfect. John Oliver played him well.
mhm. Yeah, different from oops, different from well, very slightly different from Rowan Atkinson, but same kind of feeling, same like same kind of character. I thought John Oliver had some pretty funny lines.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was definitely funny. I mean, he's funny in real life. I like
Jesus
his.
fucking
I think he should have a bigger like night show in general. Just dude, they want to strike. Let them strike. It's okay.
sorry, sorry that kind of ruined the flow of the audio podcast. Uh, I
Oh,
hate this game, dude.
I'm not really doing anything in the game right now. Like I've cleaned stuff, cleaned poop, and I've tried to like put the restroom and stuff, but I cannot find like it doesn't. I can't find a spot to put it at.
So John Oliver Zazu was pretty solid. Let me tell you, one of my favorites is uh Rafiki. In the original, he was played by an American named Robert Gulame, I think. Uh,
Hmm.
who did a great job, but he made Rafiki fucking insane. And
Yeah.
it kind of felt weird that anyone would take advice from this crazy mandrill, because he's not actually a baboon, he's a mandrill.
Yeah.
Um, but in the remake, he's played by John Connie, who like I love him every time he shows up because like you probably recognize him from the Marvel movies. He plays King T'Chaka, uh, Black Panther's dad.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
But
I know who it is.
I remember him from a movie in the '90s called The Ghost in the Darkness, which is about the man-eating lions of Tsavo. He plays like the second-hand man to the main character.
The
Uh, and
man.
he's got this
That's a name of a movie.
he's
Like
got
that's
this
a crazy name.
no, the name of the movie is The Ghost in the Darkness because that's what the lions were called by the natives.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I think they probably called him that in Swahili, but I'm not sure. Or maybe Zulu. Anyways, but like I've always enjoyed watching him in stuff because of that movie. Because he's got this one line where Val Kilmer's talking about or Val Kilmer's reading a letter from his wife, and John Connie's like, "You like your wife?" And he goes, "Yeah, very much." And then he has to get up and leave, and John Connie like is smiling as he walks away, and then his smile fades and goes, "I don't like any of mine." That line has killed me for 2 decades. Like every time I hear it, I don't know why, it just cracks me up.
That's actually really funny. That's
Yeah, but I love that actor, and I thought he played the character really, or I thought he gave Rafiki like a really good balance of being kind of a mystical shaman character, and like he because he's actually from Africa and actually speaks Swahili, like he was able to do the words and do the accent. Uh, but he also felt like somebody you could kind of rely on their advice. Like every now and then he's a little out there, but he still felt knowledgeable and full of wisdom.
yeah. He the only thing he definitely I feel all that too. The only thing that I was like, where's his staff? And then they bring it out at the end, so I enjoyed that. But yeah, I liked how it
The
was
thing I
played.
really loved the thing I really loved about that staff is I also was like, so where's his staff? Because I mean, like from the beginning you get that they're going for a more realistic animal approach. There's like even when Rafiki's holding up Simba, he's doing it sitting down like an actual mandrill would do. He's not standing up like trying to keep his balance while he's holding the son of the king. Um, like he's doing everything correct. So I was like, oh, I guess they're not gonna have the staff. So is he just gonna like punch hyenas at the end? But when he actually pulls that staff out of his hiding spot, like I don't know about you, but I knew that this was not gonna be a kung fu uh monkey. This was gonna be a monkey that's gonna beat your ass.
Yeah, yeah,
Just fucking beat the shit out of you. And I thought that was fantastic. It got me hyped for that scene later.
yeah. I very much enjoyed. I actually enjoyed his line. He like said something old friend like he was a crazy guy that he's went through some stuff with this staff and you knew that he was gonna beat some ass. Like
Yeah,
I thought that
like
was really
it's
good.
it's got a notch on it for every skull he shattered with it, like
Yeah,
that kind of thing.
yeah. I thought that was done
Yeah,
really well.
yeah. Uh, so the other two female lions besides Nala that have any personalities are Serafina and Sarabi, which are Nala's mother and Simba's mother respectively. And I don't think I don't know if Serafina got any lines in the original, and I think Madge Sinclair got two. Uh, they got a couple more lines in this,
Yeah.
and for what it's worth, I think the actresses played them well, but they just didn't have really anything to do.
No, I mean they're. I mean, even in the original, they didn't do anything really. They sat there. The female lions all sit there, but besides Nala. So
Yeah, which is absurd because
the female
like they're
lions are the
lions
hunters. They're the hunters, and they do all that stuff. So
typically.
yeah, I felt like that's one of the changes I felt like they could have changed, made the female lions more like what they actually do. If that makes
Well,
sense.
they did. They just didn't go far enough with it.
Yeah. Um.
So, they were fine, but I think they could have done better.
Yeah. Then the
I want to
only
save the hyenas for the end because I got quite a bit to talk about them. Is there any others?
any other voice acting? Mm, not that I.
I'm looking through my list, and that's about it. Uh, so the directors in the original were Roger Ayler and Rob Minkoff. Um, they're like, there's not a lot that needs to be said about them. They pulled off an achievement that nobody was expecting at first, because I don't know if you know this, but it was actually Disney's B team that was doing The Lion King, because their A team was all working on Pocahontas.
Really?
And
Dude, Lion King blew
yeah,
Pocahontas out of the water, too.
dude, it crushed everything that
Yeah.
the year it came out. I think the only movie that outsold it in the U.S. was Forrest Gump that came out the same year, and it beat Forrest Gump internationally.
Really?
Their product has stood the test of time for most people, not me, but most people for the last 25 years. Uh, and John Favreau did the new one. I like John Favreau movies. I didn't see The Jungle Book, but um,
Yeah, I
but I
haven't
thought
seen it
this one
either.
was pretty. But I like this. You didn't find.
Well, with John Favreau, like, he makes great movies, and I felt like he makes pretty innovative movies, to be honest. And I felt like,
Yeah, like the first two Iron Man movies. Like
yeah,
he is pretty
he's
responsible for the MCU being where it is today.
yeah, and he made like Chef and a lot of other
Yeah,
movies that I just don't understand why he chose not to innovate in more ways, honestly. I know I watched like an interview and he said, "Oh, the way we were innovating is our casting," but I mean, the
yeah. I
casting
I
wasn't
think I think he
great.
missed out on really making this movie his own. I think they thought they were innovating a lot because they like their visuals blow it out of the water. I mean, I'm not saying blow the original out of the water. I'm just saying blow movies out of the water.
Yeah,
Like
there's
that's
no other movie that looks like that. That's one thing that they have for them. There's no other movie
right.
that has that look ever.
And then they've got an updated cast where uh, all the um, all the lions are played by um, African Americans now instead of fucking Matthew Broderick. And like I think he thought between the cast and the visuals, uh, and some slight changes to make the animals more anatomically accurate to their real life counterparts, which did alter some things in the movie. So I thought like those were good changes. But yeah, I do think they should have gone further. But like I said before, it's that damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like if you're
Yeah.
making a remake, they're gonna either bitch about it being too close or bitch about it being too far away, and there's really no winning,
Yeah.
which sucks.
I just wished. I mean, he's such a good director. He's done amazing things. I just wished he would have put his own spin on it. Honestly, like I mean, bring Tony Stark in, send him. He donates a watering hole or something. I'm just I'm being ridiculous, but
Don't do that.
I'm being
Don't do that.
ridiculous
That's
about
fucking
that.
absurd.
I think he could have done something really cool with it that he chose not to, and I don't know why. But I don't know. The okay. It, so you want to save the hyenas for last?
Well,
Let's
no,
see.
let's just do the riders and then we'll get back to the hyenas because
Okay,
I got quite a few things to say about them.
the
Okay, so,
riders.
uh, yeah, when I was looking up the writers of the original Lion King, it said screenplay by Irene Mecci, Jonathan Roberts, and Linda Wolverton, and then it had a list of 25 people who got a writing credit for the story.
Jeez.
Like the first three got the screenplay, but the last 25 got story credits. And like I started writing them down and I was just like, I'm not doing that. So screenwriters plus 25. Like they that's a lot.
Why did they need so many?
Well, I don't think it was they need so many. It was just like at every stage something changed. Like um originally Scar was going to be a baboon leading a pack of baboons that wanted to take over Pride Rock. Uh, and then Rafiki was going to be a cheetah, and then it changed to the hyenas were going to be African wild dogs or African painted wolves or whatever you want to call them. They got like 8 names. They're cool looking animals, uh, but they're also a lot smaller than hyenas. So I
Yeah.
think they just didn't feel imposing enough, and also just the old trope of like dogs versus cats. Uh, Whereas hyenas are actually uh, a member of the cat family. Like it's a distant member, but still a member. It's kind of like how foxes are a member of the canine family, but they're uh, vulpine versus would wolves be? Is it lupine?
Not sure.
Oh, great. They got the shitting disease again.
Um.
Okay. But yeah, so, just every iteration or every time the script came through, like little things were changed or every time they had to like fix something in the animation, maybe somebody was like, "Well, if we're going to already change it, how about we add this or subtract that or whatever."
Yeah.
So like they had a lot of things to do and therefore a lot of uh writers and credits on it. Whereas in this one, it was written by Jeff Nathanson and Brenda Chapman. To be honest, I don't really know what they did because I mean overall it's pretty much the exact same script. Like even the word and the shots, which if mm,
Yeah. The script and everything. I don't. They definitely didn't work hard on the dialogue. They threw every single cent that they had into the CGI and animation for the animals. That's where all the money went. They were like, we're gonna make this movie look so good that nobody's gonna care about anything else. Basically, how Avatar was, but I don't think it went off as well as Avatar did, because Avatar was kind of an original thing.
I mean, not really. It's basically Pocahontas, Ferngully, and Dances with Wolves.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like original and the CGI and things that they did. We know that there's amazing CGI now. We know that there's you can basically make anything look real with computers now. So I don't think people, or at least I was. I mean, I was blown away with it, with how it looked, but story wise and stuff, I think we still needed more because we've already seen certain aspects in movies like that happen already. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Yeah, I don't think they did anything with the writing at all. They basically took the script from the old movie and added it and didn't do much. Maybe they added a couple of things, and then I mean they didn't even write Timon and Seth Rogen stuff. Billy, I keep forgetting his last name.
Eichner.
Billy Eichner came up with his lines. He's the one who innovated that stuff. He's the one that said the new things. Him and Seth Rogen are the ones that came up with those jokes. The writers didn't do any of that. They did. So
Yeah.
they should have gotten Rodden credit for that. I mean, they should be more than 25. There's 27. They
Well, the 25 was on the original, not on the
yeah, I know. I'm just saying.
Fair enough.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I felt the writing was subpar, honestly.
Yeah, that's a criticism I can't really fight. So, now to the hyenas. Um, in the original movie, they were called Shinzi, uh, Ed, and Bonsai, and they were played by Whoopi Goldberg, Jim Cummins, who plays Winnie the Pooh and everything, and Bonsai was Cheech Marin, as in Cheech and Chong. They were going to try to get Tommy Chong, but he couldn't free up his schedule for it.
What was he possibly doing that he couldn't free up his schedule for Lion King?
I mean, honestly, like 1994, he might have been in jail.
Maybe, yeah. Or he was
Or
super high, or
just far too high.
yeah.
It's hard to say.
Okay, so that was the original. That's what they originally wanted, and
Right. Those are so instead of Tommy Chong, it's Jim Cummings, who, like I said, plays Pooh, like Winnie the Pooh and everything.
yeah,
So in this new version, the characters are called Shinzi, Azizi, and Kamari. Shinzi means savage in Swahili. Kamari means mighty, and Azizi means moonlight because moonlight, Luna, lunatic. They're like lunatic and the moon both have the same root word for the moon.
yeah.
So so they wanted to associate with him with something that explains that he's a little bit off.
Yeah, he's definitely a little bit
Uh,
off in this. Uh,
and they're played by Florence Kasumba, Eric Andre, and Keegan Michael Key. Like this is probably the biggest disappointment for me is that they didn't just give them an extra 5 minutes. I mean, we followed a tuft of hair for far too long. Like I get the purpose of that scene, but it should have been like half its length.
a tough to hair. What scene are you talking about?
Like a tuft of hair blows off of Simba, and then it blows on the wind, and then a bird picks it up. The
Oh,
bird
that
drops it,
that. Yes,
and
yeah.
giraffe eats it. The giraffe shits it out. A dung beetle rolls that shit into a ball. The ball breaks apart. The hair
It,
comes out.
it had to show the
And
circle of life.
I know, but it didn't need to show it for that long.
Total. I know. I understand.
But like I would have loved like several more minutes of both like Timon and Pumbaa just like riffing or like just a day in the life of or whatever where they could like throw in jokes and just have fun. But also the idea of Eric Andre and Keegan Michael Key getting to play off each other for a while sounds amazing.
Yeah, I think the shots
And
that they were in, the lines and stuff that they had, were actually really good. They did well together for what they had.
yeah, they just didn't have enough extra time.
Yeah. No, yeah, and I fully agree with you. I think this movie tried to focus on other aspects of the movie rather than what it should have focused on.
No, that's pretty much it. I thought their when they were on screen was pretty fun and I just wish they had more screen time, but while they were there, I thought they did a great job. And then I also thought that Florence Kasumba, who played Shinzi, you might know her from Black Panther. She was not a Okoye, the like main guard, but she was like the second in command of the like royal guard.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Uh,
know who you're talking about.
but I thought she did a fantastic job because hyenas are ruled by a matriarchy, uh so it's like an alpha female that leads the pack. Uh, and like she felt like she actually was in charge of everyone there, whereas Whoopi Goldberg felt like the third head of like an idiot trio. Shinzi actually felt like a slighted uh leader that's looking to get even however she can.
Yeah, I really enjoyed her. I wanted more, honestly. The way that she made that character, uh, it made me want more of her scenes, more interactions with people. I honestly wanted to see a super sneaky ploy that she would pull off because she seemed that sneaky. It made her seem like the Cruella de Vil of Lion King instead of, like you said, one of the Three Stooges from the first one.
Right. Also, fun fact about female hyenas, or at least the alpha female, they have a pseudo penis.
Cool
Not so
King.
fun fact is that they still give birth through it, and it rips pretty commonly, and usually ends up with a dead hyena. Can you imagine that trying to give birth out of your dick, and your dick rips, and you fucking die from it?
No King. And I never wanted to imagine that, like ever. And now you've put it into my head. Thank you. You
Yeah,
did
pretty brutal, right?
you did great to ruin my night.
I like animal documentaries.
Yeah, but the hyenas, I thought they were good. I wanted to see not necessarily silliness from them, but I wanted to see more emotion out of the other ones rather than just those three, because I guess it's kind of from the original one because there was the scenes to where they all marched and I don't know. I kind of wanted to see
Yeah,
more out of them.
all the rest of the hyenas are essentially NPCs.
Yeah, like
Oh, do you want to hear the other Swahili words that are used for names in this? Uh,
sure,
in both the original and the new one.
sure.
Okay, so Simba means lion. Uh, not the most creative name, but it works. Nala means gift. Don't really know why they went with that. I mean, it's okay sounding, so like, sure. I don't
Nala
totally
is
understand.
Simba's gift. Makes
Like,
sense to me.
sure, okay, whatever. Sarabi means mirage, which I don't totally understand that one. But it's a cool word, so I guess that's probably the main focus. Okay, the next one is Rafiki, which means friend, which is fine with me.
Yeah,
Um,
it kind of makes it. That one kind of makes sense because he's
yeah, I'm kind of surprised they didn't do something like wise man or like medicine man or something like that. But
Well, I
friend
wonder
makes
if,
sense. So
but I wonder if friend in like Swahili means more than just medicine man or wise man, or like they if in that it like they
that's a good
value
point.
it more. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good point. Um, so then Pumbaa means simpleton or weak-minded, which seems a little harsh.
yeah, because that's not. I mean, well, this Pumbaa, it didn't feel like he was that at all. He was kind of very witty and quick minded.
Yeah, he had some moments, but for the most part, he did seem more intelligent than the original.
Yeah, yeah,
But
definitely.
whatever. And then the last one is Seraphina, which means bright star.
I
So
like that.
those are all those names. Going back to Pumbaa though, I got two things to talk about him. Um, so I had you watch that well scene from Lawrence of Arabia because when uh when we're introduced to Pumbaa and Timon in this and they buck off the uh vultures, they have that shot, reverse shot of the mirage coming in and then the vultures looking confused and then that back and forth. I guarantee that's a reference to Lawrence of Arabia.
I can definitely see that now. When I watched that, I was like, you told me to watch it, and I was like, why did he tell me to watch this? And then now that you've brought that up, it's definitely like that. There's no way it's not that because it's very similar because they were both looking like what the heck's going on, and then the same thing with
Hmm.
the vultures. Yeah, I could definitely see
Yeah,
that.
and yeah, he, I mean, it would have to be that. I guess the other thing, which I think is also a reference to Lawrence of Arabia, is the scene in Monty Python where um, Sir Lancelot is charging at the guy, but I'm pretty sure it's to Lawrence of Arabia because Monty Python is parodying that in that scene.
Yeah,
The other thing about Pumbaa is that when he was a young warthog, um, he's actually an European boar, like that young pig with the spots on it.
yeah,
That's the markings of a young boar, whereas a warthog looks like a tiny warthog. Like they don't go through that color transformation and
yeah.
everything that uh
Maybe that's the point why nobody but Timon liked him because he's not really a warthog, so he was never accepted by anybody.
but he didn't grow up to be a boar. He grew up to be a warthog. Like that was just like make him a pig, make him a small pig. Okay, what's a small pig look like? Google,
Yeah.
okay.
I have to say
So,
that scene was really funny and very cute. Like literally everybody in the theater was like, "Oh," and it was a little farting pig.
yeah, and I also like how they changed that from the original cartoon because in the original cartoon Timon censors him from saying farted.
Yeah.
Because the line is like, I got downhearted. How did you feel whenever I Pumbaa, please, not in front of the kids. In this one, he actually sings when I farted,
Yeah.
and Timon's like, oh, you sure did. He's like, you're not gonna censor me. He's just like, nah.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. Tammy looked over at me and was like, "They didn't censor it." I was like, "Yeah, it's farted." Like,
Yeah,
I was-
yeah. Um, another problem I have with the CGI, none of the lions have balls. Specifically, Mufasa, Scar, and Simba ruined the
yeah,
immersion.
but it's. I kind of get why they didn't do that though. That makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. It made me wonder afterwards though. I was just like, huh, if you make realistic looking animal balls in a movie, does that change the rating?
Oh, I bet it does. I bet it at least makes it PG-13 at least.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like in in like any animal documentary, you can absolutely see that. But you can also see them straight up eating the ass out of a zebra. So I don't
No,
know.
totally get it.
I'm 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 not terribly upset that they didn't do it, but I wanted to pretend that I was because
I think it
it
would
is
have.
something that I noticed.
I think if they did do it, it would have been a very funny joke for like Timon and Pumbaa to like bring up or something. I think that would
Yeah,
have
just like
been,
whoa there, you almost hit me with them,
yeah, something,
cause
something very
cause
subtle.
they're big.
Yeah.
But the other reason I was thinking of that was because of Red Dead, where it's like realistic horse testicles that shrink in the cold weather. It's just like, all right, that's needlessly unnecessary, and also your poor editor or your poor like digital designer must have been like, "Oh, what are you doing at work today, honey?" Making balls shrink in the cold. It's just like, "Oh, you have nudity?" It's just like they're horse balls.
And that probably he probably had to do that for like 40 hours. Look at those horse balls and edit.
Oh God, he must have had to do so much research.
Yeah.
Oh, that poor bastard.
Speaking of like little things like that, going into my probably like final point about the movie is
Okay.
I didn't kind of like that they didn't do emotions on their faces really. Like none of them had any like unless it was Timon or Pumbaa or Zazu, and even the hyenas had some, but all the lions, even all of the like the opening scene, none of them had expressions or anything. And I know it's supposed to be more real and stuff, but all of us have seen videos and memes and stuff of animals doing weird, funny things with their faces or with like their bodies and things. You can, I think it would have been very appropriate for them to add in some more facial emotion or things like that. The only ones that really had it was when they went to where Timon and Pumbaa was. They kind of made those characters had more emotion with kind of their actions and stuff, and I like that. It made me feel that there was more to those characters because they added those little bit of emotions and things with just with like the movement. Even with Zazu, because he's a bird, like he would like peck at himself or like bite his wing or something to create an emotion. But with the lions and any of the other animals and stuff, they didn't fully do that, and I feel like they should have added it. I guess I don't know. How did you feel
I
about that?
I will say they did do it sometimes. Like when Zazu's talking about them being betrothed, they do like the young lions do have uh facial expressions and I think there was some subtle smiling like when Mufasa laughed about something Simba was doing or whatever. Um some of that was there. But I really feel like they should have played with the ears more, which is harder to do on the lions with manes, but uh like there's a lot of facial expressions that the lions do in the original cartoon. Um like a lot of the ear stuff, which would totally work with photorealistic animals. Uh that that yeah, they kind of dropped the ball on that. So I agree that that was a point that they really missed the mark.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many ways. You don't have to make their face move weirdly, but you could make their paws, their ears, their like them like move their neck to the side or something like that to show that emotion, and it just
Uh-huh.
I don't feel like it was really conveyed at all in the movie about these animals having those emotions. Yeah, they were very subtle, but some of them had very subtle ones. But I don't feel you needed to make them subtle, if that makes sense. I think they could have. made them a lot more, and people would have still been, man, this is still very real. That's just me.
Yeah, yeah. And also, I mean, like you can kind of like venture just slightly out of like absolute realism, for the sake of the movie, that they didn't do. So yeah, they dropped the ball there.
Yeah, no, that's how I feel. I was just seeing if you felt the same way or anything. Um, and then the last thing I have is kind of a PSA and a story for when you go to the movies. So, okay, I'm playing a game and everything right now, guys. I'm gonna have to set the controller down for this because this is serious for me.
Is this about to be
Serious.
you bitching about children in the theater?
No, not really the children, the parents of the children. Okay.
Oh boy.
I I have been to children movies before. I went to Toy Story 4 when it just came out. I've been to other movies. I have no idea what the difference was with this movie compared to any other movie I've ever watched that had a large children population in the movie. One, it was like I was back in like kindergarten to where a kid raises his hand and has to go to the bathroom, and then every kid after that had to go to the bathroom. But this wasn't the
Okay, so
children.
that happened with you too?
Yes, yeah. This wasn't the children having to go to the bathroom. It was the parents. They literally, it was non-stop movement. I have no idea what was happening in the theater because there was never not a time the whole movie that there was parents not getting up and going to the bathroom. It was literally like a rotation of people around my theater. It was a revolving door of people the whole entire time. And then there would be
Like a
kids
relay
crying.
race of piss.
Yes, it was insane to me. I was like, I have never seen this before in any movie, in any children's thing, anything. Never seen it. It was completely insane to me. And then kids would be crying. There was crying kids, some crying kids and stuff maybe, but they would cry. The parents wouldn't do anything. They would literally look at them and be like, okay, you're gonna cry, and not do anything. There was a kid in front of me with their parents, one kid. There was no other kids watching with them or anything. The kid was getting like upset and was asking her mom and dad. She was like, I want to go home. I want to go home. Let me leave. I want to go home. She had to be like 5. The parents just
Weird.
looked at her and she was like pacing up and down the like aisle with other people in the aisle. It's just like, take the kid and leave. You were an adult. You can come see the movie later. You were ruining the experience of the movie for all the other kids and all the other people in here. Now, okay, this is the one that got me. I was sitting next to like a grandmother of a kid, and then the kid was right next to her. The kid was
Hmm.
an amazing child. Amazing. He didn't talk. He didn't like want to talk or anything. He was sitting there watching the movie. He was getting excited for parts. He was into it. But the grandmother literally prompted the child to talk the whole time. She would ask him questions and be like, "Oh, do you see that? Oh, all these things." When all the kid wanted to do was sit there and watch the movie. She made
Shut the
the
fuck up,
kid
Grandma!
talk. She made him talk. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, he is a well-behaved kid and you're making him talk in a movie to where people don't like talking in movies. You're making your kid bad. And it was a surreal experience for me in the theater. I've never experienced anything like that before with like other
Yeah, that's
people.
wild.
It's insane to me how that was happening. I have no idea why it was happening. So, I don't do that if you go to the theater. I I don't know what was happening. Please, if you guys go to the theater and see that happening, don't be those people that join in. Just uh, it was weird. It was. Uh, but that's my last comments about this movie or anything. King, you got anything else to say?
Honestly, like now that I've seen both, and yeah, the cartoon has a special place in my heart. It always will. Blah blah blah. If I was told to sit down tomorrow and watch one or the other, unless I was time constrained, I'd probably watch this again. Like nothing against the original, and we brought up some points of where this one was lacking, but I was glued for the entire movie. Like even at the parts where I was like, well, that's a little weird, or that's not right, or that could have been better. I still enjoyed the movie all the way through. So like I get people not liking it as much as the cartoon. It's kind of hard to hold up against something like that. Uh, but it was still a good experience to me. I thought it was fun.
With all my criticism and in the movie and everything, if you're just going to see a movie and having fun, that's fine. Okay, I didn't think it was memorable or anything, but I'm being critical of the movie as well. Like I wanted more out of it. I want more out of these Disney movies. Out of these Disney movies and stuff. The movie was okay. Go if you want to see it, go watch it. If you really like Lion King, you might really like this. I thought it was lacking in a lot of places. Wasn't terrible, but it definitely could have been so much better. And I wished it was better. And I kind of hope they make a second one and just focus on Timon and Pumbaa or something like that. I think that would be amazing.
I
You know,
don't.
they
Have you seen the cartoon versions of those? They're fucking terrible.
no, but if you let Billy and Seth Rogen and uh, the hyena guys, Eric Andre and which one was it? Key or Pill or
It was Keegan Michael Key.
Yeah, Keegan Michael Key and Eric Andre. Like, let them make a movie together. That's just a comedy. I think that would be great. I think it would be super hilarious. Um,
Yeah,
but
Timon and Pumbaa teaching them to eat grubs and stuff because they're
yeah,
sick of not having food.
yeah, I think it would be wonderful. Movies for me lacks luster. If you like Lion King, you'll probably end up liking this, especially if you're not critical on movies. That's all I needed to say. I don't need to get back up on my soapbox about any of it or anything. You got any last words, King?
I mean, like if you're interested in the movie, just go see it. Like don't let the audience and the critics tell you whether it's good or not. It's something you're gonna have to decide on your own. Like Kevin and I both grew up with the cartoon as a child, as children, and we have very different reactions. So, I mean, like if you haven't seen the movie and you watch this, I mean, it's not like we could really do spoilers because it's the fucking Lion King, which is Hamlet with lions. Like,
Yeah.
you know the story, but either go watch it or don't. Catch some clips on YouTube. Scar's audio for Be Prepared is on YouTube, and I've listened to both versions like about a dozen times since I watched the movie. But I mean, like, you're not interested in it, you're not interested in it, and I'm not going to change your mind.
Yeah, but that's what we have to say. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please tell us what you want to hear if you want us to break down anything. But honestly, thanks for watching. I'm enjoying this right now. I'm hoping King's enjoying talking to me about movies and anything else that we end up doing. Um,
Oh,
next,
yeah.
yeah, next week we should have another episode coming out. It's maybe about Gears of War and its beta and where it might go. Uh, we're not just going to focus on movies. If you've watched all the way through this, you obviously care to watch it and listen to us. But we're not just going to focus on movies. We're going to do other topics. We're going to do Gears of War next week, and we may do another movie or something. We're going to figure it out, and we'll keep you guys posted along the way. But thanks for watching. We'll see you later.
Bye bye.